All right, welcome back to Hard Hits. We're going to hit our last and final segment. We're going to look at the matchups for this week, and we're going to look at the power rankings. With that said, we are going to take a look at how did Connor Joe do on predicting his matchups. With that said, I did 4-3. I'm very disappointed in how I thought it was all going to transpire. I got the fourth down and Raquel matchup correct. I got Bukaki and Elite matchup wrong. I thought Bukaki was gonna win. I got the Jeff and Juan matchup correct. I got the Chris and Luke matchup wrong. I got the Ricky and Divock matchup wrong. Got the Mike and Reina matchup right, and I got the Frank and Pop matchup right. So I'm 4-3. But we're going to look to go 7-0 next week. So with that said, we're going to take a look at our matchups this week. We look at fourth down and bitches versus Joel Bukaki. I think it's going to be a very close matchup. I think this is one of the matchups that I think could be close to matchups of the week. You'll understand why I picked the matchup of the week that I did. It's a must win for Joel, but I also think it's a must win for Steven. He starts the year 2-0. He's in a great position to move forward. If he starts 1-1, he might start panicking. Joel needs to win this matchup, but at the end of the day, I think Steven's going to pull out this victory. Sorry. We look at Raquel, who's going up against Pop. She's in full panic mode. She's dropping. She's making moves left and right. She's trying to steer the pieces in the right direction. But it just, strength of schedule, like you needed to win week 1 because now you're facing Pop. Pop has the players. You don't want to face Pop right now. Like, the thing is, you want to face these people when they're going through their bye weeks. And Pop's going to win this matchup like easily, hands down. We look at El Jefe versus the Elite. Jeff needs a miracle, and it'll be great if he can pull something together, but I don't see it happening. I think the Elite is going to pull this victory convincingly. Jeff didn't do anything that made me think that he's going to be competing this week. We take a look at Trash Season, who's facing Team Boo Boo. Chris surprised me last week. I didn't think about the performance he was going to have against Luke. In week 1, Juan put up some points, but I felt like he was going to win that matchup anyway, regardless. But I think this is the match Trash Season's going to win convincingly as well. We look at Mike versus Divock, limo riding, jet flying, son of a gun versus speeding bullets. This is a matchup that Divock needs to win. Who needs to win it more? I think it's Divock, because at the end of the day, look at what Divock has at stake. He has so many draft picks, so many solid picks, and it doesn't help that one of his players already is out. Like, one of his top picks, Darius Geis, is already out. But something deep down in me wants Mike to win. Like, I don't know why, but at the end of the day, Divock should regroup. You look at his stats; like, he just had a really bad week. I think Divock's got this victory convincingly as well. We take a look at Frank versus Reina. This could be another matchup of the week. It can go either way. I think Reina should win it, but maybe it's time Frank gets his shit together and he gets this victory and gets himself back into this. I'm picking Frank. Like I said, it can go either way. Reina had the top points scored, but you look at it, I think it might be an anomaly. Like, it's not going to happen all the time. We're going to go with Frank with the W. And then we take a look at the matchup of the week. So we look at M.I. Thielen's Ricky, who's going up against the Power Game. The reigning champion is going up against M.I. Thielen's. M.I. Thielen's already called a dub in our chat. He's strutting around thinking he's the shit. So this is why we kind of made this our matchup of the week. So we're going to take a look at the quarterback position. We're looking at Dak Prescott, who had a career game for M.I. Thielen's against Russell Wilson for the power game. It's a tie. I don't care. He scored 46 points in week 1 and Russell Wilson scored 16. They're both the same fucking quarterback to me. I don't think that anyone is better than the other. Russell Wilson can throw a 40 burger down when he wants. Doesn't happen very often. The same thing like Dak Prescott. It's a tie in my mind. And we'll look at the wide receiver position. We got Watkins, we got Jones, and we got Crowder from my Thielens going up against Boyd, Landry, and then he's got Scary Terry from Washington. It can go either way, but I think Boyd and Landry, they got more upside to them. You know how I feel about Watkins. I don't think Watkins is that guy, especially now since he's going to be the number 1. Granted, he's going up against Oakland, who lost 2 of their defensive backs. Actually, one of them's coming back. Sorry, the guy who got fucking carted off, he'll be back. I don't think Watkins is the man, and I give the advantage to power game on that one. We'll look at running backs. We got James Conner versus Bernard, and we have Kamara against AP. It's 2 starters against 1. I think it's a given. And after Connor's performance, and then you look at Kamara's performance, I think it's a given. The advantage is going to the power game. We'll look at tight end. We got Jared Cook against Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen hasn't been doing much work lately. Granted, I'm recording this after his Thursday night game, and I'm trying to pretend like I'm not looking at any of this. I'm going to give the advantage to M.I. Thielens. I think Jared Cook is poised to have a very solid performance, like a Raiders-esque performance. I can't believe I'm saying that, but he's got a lot of upside to him that I just don't think we haven't seen yet. We'll look at defensive special teams. It's a tie. It's a lot of garbage on both sides. You can go either way on both sides with the IDPs out as well. With that said, I look at the breakdowns. I think it's obvious that the power game is going to win. Obvious that the power game is going to win. I hope I'm not wrong 2 weeks in a row. Ricky, I think you're just on a joyride. And I told you, if you disagree with Mr. Joe, just send me your thoughts. And hopefully, after this week, we don't have to talk about this anymore. Anyways, now on to our power rankings. So, we are looking at our second week in power rankings, and obviously we go from the bottom to the way up. So, number 14 this week is El Jefe. Had a horrible performance. His team was on a bye week, dropping down to 1 spot. Number 13, dropping 5 spots down, is Coconut Lil Something. She wasn't cooking anything. Wasn't barbecuing nothing. Wasn't even a microwave. We got no power. PG&E's out. Raquel's performance is out. Number 12, it's a rare performance of somebody winning and dropping down a spot. Sorry, Team Boo Boo. It's just this league's stacked with the exception of a handful. Keep on winning, you'll move your way up. But with the 1-0, Team Boo Boo is actually dropping down a spot. I wasn't. Sorry, it's not personal. Go keep on buying your Reese's, Travis Scott, whatever it is. Number 11, we have somebody jumping up a spot, is the limo riding, jet flying son of a gun. Solid performance. I think he would even jumped up more spots if it just wasn't so heavy on top. Solid performance. If he can provide this upset, he's obviously going to be making a name for himself. Number 10, dropping 3 spots, was Mr. Incognito. Not a great performance. He might keep on making his way down the bottom if he can't get this win in week 2. Number 9, dropping 8 spots, is the power game, but he's going up against my arch nemesis in my Thielens, and he might jump back up to number 1 if he can beat his ass. But just not a solid performance against trash season. But the season's still young, and there's definitely upside to your team. Ricky jumped up 6 spots to number 8. Number 7 is Trash Season, who jumped up 3 spots. It wasn't the performance that I expected. A lot of his rookies did a lot of good things, so kudos to you. And if he can keep this up, he's gonna be he's gonna be very sneaky in his performance this season. Number 6, dropping 4 spots, is Speeding Bullets. A very disappointing performance, but I think that he's gonna make this back up. If this might be a one hitter quitter, he's gonna bring this back up. But if he doesn't, oh well. Number 5, jumping up 4 spots, is the Commissioner, 4th Down and Bitches. A solid performance, the biggest beatdown of the week. I don't think this is an anomaly. I think he's going to keep this up. Number 4, jumping up a spot and losing, is Bukaki. Like I said, the Raiders, Corey Davis, and your bench is the reason why you lost this matchup. And if you can just figure out who to start, you're going to be all right. Number 3, jumping up 3 spots, is No Fat Chicks. Solid performance, most points scored in week 1. He could be a Super Bowl contender, but it just all depends on how he can manage his lineup moving forward. Number 2, jumping up 2 spots, is the Elite. He's gonna be a top dog moving forward. Had a great win against a playoff contender in Bukaki. Barely made his way through it. And then looking at number 1, who's jumping up 2 spots, is Pop. You know how I feel about his A draft. I knew he's going to be number 1 eventually. I didn't think he'll be this quickly. With that said, those are our power rankings. And the last note before we head out of here is commissioner notes. The only commissioner notes we have are we still are missing dues. We haven't gained 1 due since draft day. So you know who you are if you're missing dues. Venmo, please. And if you don't send your dues, your roster will be locked in week 4. You can't make any moves. And if you don't make your payments, not gonna be around. So please, dues. With that said, I'm Connor Joe. I will see you next week on Hard Knocks. Thank you guys. Have a good day.